Christensen was born in 1891, somewhere in Europe. I don't know. He was known as a carpenter. He had 5 kids. Oh, and he invented Legos. The little bricks that could debuted in 1949 and have since become one of the most popular toys on the entire dang planet. Today, you'll know them as that Marvel thing, or like that Harry Potter thing, or even that Fast and Furious thing, because I do have Dominic Toretto's car on my desk right now. These little bricks are as deeply invested in pop culture as video games or any toy you'll find on the shelves at Target. And Barbie, that includes you. I don't care how popular you are right now. Legos rock. Welcome to Big Kid. I'm Chris Hayner, and this week we're talking about Legos. Now, the order of those words might be in a different order than normal because we're redoing this because my guest is one of my closest friends on this giant, mighty Earth planet, Natalie Abrams, a former journalist turned TV writer, creator, and true king of the world. Natalie, thank you for being here.
Hi. Lower your expectations, though. He just spoke really highly of me. Just lower your expectations.
No, you're wonderful, and you're my Lego friend. You are, dare I say, the king of my Lego friends.
I will take it.
If I have other Lego friends, and I don't know that I do, you would be their lord and ruler.
Yes,
clearly.
I will accept that position. Thank you very much. Is it paid in Legos?
No, it's not paid. The king, I mean, you're the king, so you could change the rules, but as of now, it's not paid.
Okay.
So this week we're going to be talking about everything Legos because we both love Legos. I should note also, and Natalie, I don't even know if you know this, this is the season 1 finale of Big Kid. That just means we're gonna that means we're gonna have to end on a cliffhanger. And B, we're just gonna take a little bit of time off so I can bank episodes. So issues like what happened 2 weeks ago when Natalie and I recorded a full excellent episode that I'm sure 800 times better than this one will be because I'm not bringing my A game this time around.
Lies.
Recorded it. We went like an hour and 20 just talking bricks, and it was delightful. And then when I got the audio, it was just an hour and 20 of me talking bricks and no Natalie.
I would have listened to that, honestly. Just one side of the conversation and not have to listen to myself.
I feel like too many people in my life already have that experience because you know me, I talk a lot. It's my thing. But I did not want to put that out. So if you are a subscriber, and honestly, if you're coming across this and you're not a subscriber, it's very easy to do. You just type Big Kid into whatever your podcast app of choice is, and you hit the little plus button or the follow or the what. I don't know. I don't know what they call it anymore. I don't care. I just want more people to listen to this so that I have an even better reason to keep talking to my friends about the nerdy things we love.
Plus, I got to come back in season 2 and talk video games or comic books or whatever. I'm excited for more.
Yes, which you might not know, which you won't know from the lost episode, as we're going to call it, is Natalie and I think we came up with several episodes that you have to come back for, including a variety of Disney things and video game things and like all the stuff that we love that I just need you to also one day. Thus far I've had on you, your wife, who is also a reporter. You guys listened to the episode about trading cards and baseball cards. Leslie Goldberg is Natalie's wife. And I also
my
had
better half, 100% my better half.
Look at you. Also, podcasting pro. There were a couple of moments where she would stumble over a word and then stop and say, "Let me give you a clean take," and do it again. I was like, TV's top 5 is so much more professional than any podcast I've ever made. Ever. Like 100,000%. But also our mutual friend Marissa Rothman was on the show, and we talked about X-Files for a long time. And I have this idea of having my favorite, like either entertainment journalists or former entertainment journalists, to just all of us get together and talk about the coolest things we've gotten to do in the name of quote unquote work.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Right? I got to like Natalie, I don't know if you know, my first year in the business freelancing as Zap to it, I toured Europe for a week, just going from set to set to set.
I went to Lost for the final
Ooh.
season premiere. I went out to Hawaii. They did sunset on the beach and they did the premiere on the beach and got to go to
Oh.
set and all of that. So I understand. We've gotten to do some really cool stuff in this business.
Heck yeah, we have. So yeah, I think that'll have to be something I try to put together for season 2, because like it's a world of wildly unique experiences we have, and damn it, they're a lot of fun. And I will note pre-pandemic.
Yes, pre-pandemic, and I will note if Marissa Rothman also comes back to talk about this, there was a time that Marissa and I were both in Vancouver for various set
Ooh.
visits, and we did a food tour of Vancouver, which basically was like getting the crispy potatoes from Joey
Oh,
Berard's,
oh my
getting
god.
poutine, getting a Japa dog. So yes.
I will say, because I too have done those. We never went on a Vancouver trip together, but there was a time when I was on a Vancouver trip and you were on your individual trip, and we ended up hanging out. I want to say, with a WBTV publicist who I won't name because I don't know if I'm supposed to name people. Um, but but not that anything scandalous happened. We just hung out and talked about, hey, what set did you go to today? And they were all Arrowverse shows, because that's what happened in Vancouver then. Anyway, that's for that. Look, that's for later. We're talking Legos. I I feel bad that you're having to essentially redo what we did the first time, but you're gonna have to redo what we did the first time. What is
Sure.
your history? Tell me about your history with Legos. When did it go from like, I love Legos, I'm a kid, to you are a Lego collector?
Yeah. So when I was growing up, we didn't have a ton of money growing up, so we didn't have like a lot of toys. We didn't really have Legos. That was more something. I asked my sister recently. I was like, we didn't have Legos, right? I think we had Lincoln Logs.
Love,
But
love Lincoln Logs. So
yes,
I feel this is just repeating stuff that we've already done. I love Lincoln Logs. I think they're the dopest building toy that's not a Lego that you will find anywhere on this planet. They're the
100%.
coolest.
But my grandmother at her house had some of the Duplo
Mm,
Legos, the really young ones.
the
So I
big
think I
chonker
played,
boys.
yeah, the big chunks. So I think I played with those at whenever we visited her house. But it wasn't until I want to say maybe 2018 or so that I got my first big Lego set. My wife got me the Death Star for my
Yeah.
birthday, and I
As we know it from Spider-Man Homecoming,
yes,
right?
yeah,
I know. I
yep.
was like, it has home in it somewhere. Homecoming. Oh,
uh
because it's the one with the homecoming dance.
Yes. And so I really took my time in building the Death Star. It is quite large, and so I think I took like months to do it, just to really take my time too, because this was the first big Lego set I had ever had, and I'm like, oh, they're so expensive. I can't really like afford
Yeah.
more Legos on a reporter's salary. And so then yeah, we moved to Burbank proper a week before the pandemic hit. And all I just remember when we moved, the only Lego I had to move was the Death Star. And then now that we've been in this house for 3 years, I would say I maybe have 50 plus sets in my
Built?
house. Yeah, built and then some not built. And it's a lot, and my wife is kind of over it and says don't buy any more Legos. But I think it really taps into, for someone like me who has ADHD and kind of,
Mhm.
I'm very fidgety, I need to keep my hands moving. uh Legos are sort of the perfect medicine in a sense. I'm also medicated, but um Legos also really help to sort of focus my mind and have a task to work at, and I feel really
Mhm.
like accomplished when I finish a bag. I know that sounds so lame. But
It doesn't though. That makes sense. Like it is
yeah.
an accomplishment. I've built Legos with you, and I've built Legos for myself. When you get to the end and you have, even if you can't, even if it's not finished, but you can see what's changed and you can see how it's coming together to closely resemble the thing you're making, like that's a very cool feeling.
Yes.
It's a
And
very
it
cool feeling.
just, even if you're just following directions, I still feel creative in a sense because I have created something.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, whether it takes me an hour to do Legos or it takes me a week to build a set or something, I feel like I have achieved something and I've been creative, and especially because we are the WGA is on strike. Don't know if you've heard
Mm-hmm.
that. We're going to
What
hit
the
100 days tomorrow. Um,
Oh, hey, the season 1 finale of Big Kid is on day 100 of the WGA strike.
it is.
Meant to be.
And so trying to keep myself active and creative it can be a little difficult in this time, but
Mhm.
sometimes when I hit a roadblock, if I just work on some Legos, I start to think about story and character, and it just kind of unlocks something. I think I've come up with some of our you know best, most fun stories that I've done on Gotham Knights, on Batwoman, whatever, over a set of Legos.
Oh, yes, I should know. When I mentioned TV writer, creator Natalie, co-created the CW's Gotham Knights. Yes, Natalie killed Batman in episode 1. That's my friend, and was also a writer on Batwoman, did some Supergirl, I think, right? Supergirl, yeah.
Yes, I
And
just
and an
remember.
all American.
Yeah, I remember when I first pitched Gotham Knights, and I said to you, Chris, I'm gonna kill Batman in the first 5 minutes of the pilot, and I think you
Uh-huh.
looked at me and said, "Good luck."
He's Batman. You can't kill Batman. And then you did it and it rocked. It rocked. Honestly, I
Thank
might
you.
have to have you back just about being the nerd who got to create canon at some point, because that's fun.
How cool is
You
that?
you
Like that,
created you created DC canon.
and
It's in
and
there forever.
yeah, not just creating a character like Turner, Batman's adoptive son,
Mhm.
but also making Stephanie Brown canonically gay and getting
Mhm.
to tell my own coming out story through the season through her eyes, and that was really fun. And I want to like high five my younger self. um
Oh,
but
I mean you
no,
can
time travel doesn't work yet, so.
yet.
Or does it?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we learned that. Uh, all right. So you got your wife got you the Death Star, and I will
Hmm.
say you are not exaggerating at all. I've been to your old house a bunch of times, and I came to your new house like the day before lockdown. We all woke up. It felt like we all woke up the next day, and they're like, "Curfew's at 10. Nobody
Yep.
go anywhere." And you did not have a lot of Legos. You guys had a lot of like cool like toy things. You had lots of like Funkos and and like me, thank Christ, you guys are devotees to physical media. So you had lots of discs, lots of books. You don't like you correctly understand that just because things are on streaming doesn't mean they always will be, which is a lesson everybody is learning now.
Yep.
Everybody is learning it.
Yeah, so it didn't have a ton of Legos at the time, and I think, when you get to a point where, much like everybody else at the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't know what, COVID
No.
was. We didn't know what the future looked like. Even Batwoman, shut down like the rest of
Oh, that's
Hollywood.
right.
Yeah, so there was a point where uh I was freaking out about the future, much like everybody else, and having nothing to do and thinking, oh goodness, well, we're not going anywhere, so we're not spending any money.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, I'll buy a couple Legos to distract me. and that really helped. One of them was the Batmobile for 89, and that really, that probably took me like 3 days, I want to say, to build, but it really distracted me and really gave
Mhm.
me sort of focus and something to wake up to, like, be excited about during a really scary time. And so I kind of latched on to that and equated, passing the time in a way that wasn't like, oh my gosh, the world is ending, by building Legos.
Right.
And it it really, really genuinely helped me. I'm not sure what kind of hole I would have fallen down otherwise during the pandemic. But I think, much like everything else I do, when I do something, I go really hard. And so now I have so many Legos, and to the point where I'm not sure I have room left if I build anything else.
Oh wow. Well, and the thing is, I'm glad you mentioned that, like, the pandemic was sort of a big push forward point, because yeah, we all had extra money, because, well, we all had some money because we weren't having to spend it on gas. We weren't having to spend it on going out. We weren't having to spend on all the stuff of life because we weren't leaving our houses. So we basically had groceries to think of, and that was it. In addition to, like, the normal bills, obviously. So, like, I also, I would argue I spent money more foolishly. I bought an NBA Jam arcade cabinet for my house. Um,
Solid
and
purchase.
and honestly, Natalie, you can look behind me right now and see lots of action figures and whatnot. I didn't collect action figures before the pandemic at all. I just didn't have that kind of stuff.
And that's what's really interesting too, to see just across, not just Legos or action figures, but across any kind of hobby. I'm sure Leslie talked about this when she talked about trading cards, especially
Mhm.
during the pandemic, again took off because people weren't spending money elsewhere, so they start spending on art or baseball cards or whatever, or Legos.
Yeah.
And for me, it was, because I didn't have this when I was a kid and didn't have a lot of toys, didn't have a lot of money. Now that I have a little bit of money, then I'm like, oh, here are things that I can enjoy that I didn't get to when I was a kid. And so I sort of
Mhm.
always joke, if you look at how many Legos or, say, tennis shoes I have, I'd be like, tell me you didn't have a lot of money growing up without telling me you didn't have a lot of money. And it's like, now I get to sort of be a big kid, which is exactly why I'm on this podcast, um,
Hey.
and get to enjoy the things that I didn't, when I was younger. And who says we ever have to grow up? I want to be like 80 building Legos.
That's the thing. If it's up to me, I will love the same things I do now 30, 40 years from now. I
Yeah.
don't care. This is like, I like literally, I'm on a Zoom with you talking about Legos. My hair is green, blue, and purple, and I'm wearing a Big Al Country Bear Jamboree t-shirt. Like, I am who I am, and I don't want becoming a quote unquote old to change that, because, like, I just want to be me when I'm old. I still want to be, like, bopping my head to Taylor Swift music and playing Fortnite and when I'm 95 years old. Yeah, that
Wow.
sounds good. That actually sounds really good.
It does. I'm not a Fortnite person, only because
Siri.
Siri. Come on, Siri. I'm
My
I'm not
watch
a
talks a lot.
Mine too. I'm not a Fortnite person, namely because I drop in and I'm immediately killed. But
I'm gonna get you on Fortnite with Nikki and me, and we're gonna do a trio match where we fight together against everyone else.
oh, okay, yes, but prepare for me to lose immediately. Just so you
That's
know that.
fine. Here, the secret is I'm bad at Fortnite, but I don't care because it's fun.
The secret is I'm always angry. um, yes, I just quoted the Hulk. That's okay.
No, you
But
don't work. You don't work in the nerd space at all.
not at all. No, so yeah, I would love to just always kind of build Legos. It's how I connect with other people. It's how I connect with my twin nieces. I get them Legos and we build them together. My friend's kid, I've been getting her Legos. She gets really excited about them as well. And I don't know, it's just a good bonding experience. Like Chris, for example,
Oh my God,
you know,
yeah.
not long before you left for Florida,
Yeah.
Florida, we're not going to talk about that. Not
Yes,
long.
for the uninitiated, Big Kid Media, which is what I call my office in our townhouse, is located outside of Tampa, Florida.
Yes,
I just
and
got more specific.
he left me to be in Florida, whatever. As a friend, we're friends.
I have
That
come
sounded
back to
weird.
see you many times since I moved. You
Yes.
have not been to Florida once. I've invited you on a cruise. I've invited you to space. You have not come to Florida once. Now, the caveat, Natalie was busy with a real human job in which they were creating a television show. So
To be, yeah.
sometimes you're not just an entertainment journalist who just takes vacation whenever to go on a Disney cruise.
So to be fair, the
Mhm.
Disney cruise happened when I needed
Oh,
to take my wife to
that's right.
Hawaii.
You guys were on your anniversary trip. Yes, that
Thank
is
you.
100% right.
And
I'm just sad we never got to do the Star Wars hotel together.
I know. I will forever regret not getting to do the Star Wars hotel with you.
I'll say this. I've heard unconfirmed rumors that they might keep it open in some fashion, maybe seasonally, maybe something close to. Again,
Okay.
I don't know how true any of this is. It's probably all false, but like I'm holding out hope. Once they announced it was closing, all the remaining rooms sold out
gone
immediately.
Yeah.
So like maybe if you just like look, give it the Big Mac treatment.
Mhm.
Every once in a while it's big, or I'm sorry, the McRib. Give it the McRib treatment. Every once in a while it's McRib season.
Yes.
And people are like, "Ooh, I need this garbage in my body."
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's kind of pork. So yeah, like my fingers are crossed that the Galactic Star Cruiser, which I was very lucky to be one of the first people to travel on. And by travel on, I mean you don't go anywhere, but you get to sit
go
in the
to
back
space.
of a very
Chris.
You get to sit in the back of a very cool box truck to go to Disney Hollywood Studios.
Listen, sir.
It would look. It's the kind of honestly the kind of perfect thing for this sort of podcast, because it's just about immersing yourself in your favorite stuff and living Star Wars for 2 days.
Yes.
Who doesn't want that?
And I will be forever sad that I didn't get to go, but it was literally when we were in development on Gotham nights and I had to choose. And so I chose.
And you chose your career over your friendships.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Don't be, please.
Hey, look how it turned out. My show got canceled.
Oh, I don't like that.
I know. It's okay. But so just before you moved to Florida, I had gotten the Cantina Lego.
Yeah.
Which was an incredible fun build. And Chris, you and I built it.
Big.
Yeah, we built some of it together, and then I sent it off with you to Florida and said, you and Nikki can build this, but you have to save the last bag for when I get out there.
Mm-hmm. And
so
we haven't started yet. But we've made a lot of Legos because the mall by us has a Lego store. So I have Dominic Toretto's car and the mini Haunted Mansion and the mini Disney Castle, and Nikki's got like the big BB-8, like the big
that one's
big
cool.
big chunker boy BB-8. Nikki found last time we were at the Lego store when I got the mini Disney Castle, Nikki got the Lego Friends line of Legos. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Got the treehouse because the treehouse was very, very cool looking and wheelchair accessible.
Yes, I love that.
It had ramps and an elevator for the Lego characters that are in wheelchairs to be able to get to the top floor of the treehouse. I was like, this is just good. This is very cool and smart. Plus, you got to build an elevator in your treehouse.
Inside your treehouse. But what else is really cool about those Friends version is they made the Encanto set. It's the the
Yeah.
casita in the Friends version, which is it's really gorgeous, and it's
Mhm.
one that I'm actively thinking about getting. I have not gotten any of the Friends version Lego sets, but this is the first one where I'm like, ooh, I might want this.
I have to say, I hope Nikki does. I know Nikki's going to listen to this episode. I hope they don't, because I would love to surprise them with that. Because Encanto, it just holds a special place in everyone's heart. But like,
Yep.
they were very, very happy with that movie, and oh, that's such a good movie. I didn't know the Encanto set was a Lego Friends set. For
Yeah.
the uninitiated, for the people who aren't Lego heads, the Lego Friends set, it's not a traditional minifig. It's a little bit taller, but I can't tell if the actual scaling on the models of the buildings is different than it is, because what we did is you used to be a member of this, the Television Critics Association. One time there was, like, when Will Arnett's Lego show was first debuting, I
Hmm.
think Brick Masters, yes. That show came to the Critics Association press tour, where essentially producers and Will Arnett came out to answer questions about Legos, but they had a minifig building station out in the lobby of the hotel. So I built Little Me and Little Nicky. And so Little Me and Little Nicky now live in the treehouse, and we're gonna get Lego minifigs of our other friends to live in the treehouse with us, as well as Ted Lasso, because Apple just sent a Ted Lasso Lego minifig.
Yes, and that's the fun thing. We recently, for our anniversary, our wedding anniversary, went to Disneyland because that's where we got engaged, and
Mhm.
we did 2 days there because it was the night before was Pride, their first Pride night, which was
Oh
really amazing.
yeah.
And I got us appointments at the Lego store there at their minifig factory, so we
Mhm.
could. And this isn't just like building with random pieces; you get to design the shirt, your top.
Wow.
So Leslie designed like a Dodger shirt. I have, a
Does it actually
leather
have like a
jacket.
Dodger logo on it?
She drew a little LA logo. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
exactly. And mine has a leather jacket and a tie, of course.
Oh, because you're
And
cool. I get
oh,
it.
okay, calm down, sir.
You're
Um
very cool.
and so that was really fun to get to build our little mini figures there. It's a great experience. It's only like $11.99 to build a minifigure.
That's nuts.
Exactly. And all you have to do is make an appointment on the website. This is not an ad for that, but I think it's worth it, and I think it's a fun experience to get to do.
What do you remember what it's called again?
The Lego minifigure factory.
Listen, Lego. The Lego Minifigure Factory is not a sponsor of Big Kid, but if you come and let's say me and the love of my life make Lego minifigs, we'll consider that a paid advertisement. We'll talk about it until the day is done. I want to come make a minifig.
Chris, I know you
Yeah.
were talking about Nikki when you said the love of your life, but I was going
But you
to
thought
make
I
a
meant
joke
you, right?
that it was me because I'm a close second, I think.
That's true.
Very
The bro
close.
of my life. The bro
Yeah,
of my life.
I'll take it.
Where would I be without Natalie Abrams? You know what's funny, Natalie? Our friendship goes back even further than like us actually being friends. It was like just when we were kind of friendly. And it was when I was trying to get out of a job I didn't love. And you were like, I think I know someone who's hiring in PR. And it didn't work out at the time. But like, I was like, this person barely knows me and is vouching for me to people that like they respect. And you know what? That's very nice.
Well, I
And I
just
was,
knew.
and that's when I knew. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Natalie's a real one.
Well,
Like
I just
this is the kind
knew.
of person that, yeah. But like that's the type of person that we all want to be. Like I try my hardest to this is the re-record of this Lego episode is just going to be a love fest. I try my hardest to be um good just in general, but I legitimately want to help people that like I think deserve it. And I think everyone deserves it is the problem. I want to help everyone because like we should all want to just help each other rise up in the world. And I feel like, wow, I'm off on such a tangent here. I feel like that doesn't happen a lot of the time. So when you do see it, you got to just appreciate it for what it is.
Well, I
And I
live
felt that way
by
about your wife too.
yeah,
Your wife is a wonderful human.
I've really lucked out with some great mentors in this business, and Keiichi Carroll from All American always said that rising waters raise all ships, and so I've lived
Yeah.
by that on my set in my writer's room, you know, like that sort of thing where I'm just trying to lift up everybody around me. And then of course, Greg Berlanti, great mentor, said, you know, he took a chance on me, and my job moving forward is to pay it forward. And so, you know,
That's why you're getting me a television show.
I'll work on that,
Natalie,
Chris.
that's so cool.
Calm down, sir.
Big
I don't
Kid,
think I could deliver.
Big Kid live on Max, I'm guessing. Let's say
Sure.
that. Big Kid
Sure.
live on Max. Let's go. All right.
Yeah, go on.
Let's go. Let's jump back to Legos. Talk to me. Like, I know the Batman '89 Batmobile is a special one for you. You, like myself, are a Batman obsessive. You and we can all agree who the best Batman is, right, Natalie?
Yes. We're
Michael
talking
Keaton.
about Keaton. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank right.
Phew.
If like, I would have accepted Adam West because that is a historic thing that, like, you know, it's Adam West. But like, if you'd have been like, no, man, Christian Bale, I'd be like, all right, let's talk. Or I would have also accepted Kevin. I also would have accepted Kevin Conroy.
Oh yeah, Kevin Conroy is high up there.
He's the voice of Batman. He's the voice that I hear in my head when I hear Batman.
Yes, and I really lucked out. I got to write some dialogue for him in the big Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, and one of the writers of the episode brought me back a signed DVD of The Killing Joke, signed by Kevin, and that was such a just, I will cherish it forever. Such a sad loss.
That is truly fantastic. But so obviously I know the Batman '89 Batmobile was a special one for you. It is. I will say this: it is the one like Lego set that I covet. I want a Batmobile '89, and I did not take the chance when I could have. Talk to me about some of your other like highlight builds. Like which ones do you absolutely love?
I really, really loved building the Home Alone house. That was, it's so nostalgic, and it's not, it's the house from the first movie, but they have some Easter eggs from the second movie as well.
Cool.
Yeah. And so it's really nostalgic, but it's really also active. So you can make Buzz's shelves fall down. You see the spider crawling around the house. You can have Kevin go sledding down the stairs out the front door. The train moves a little Michael Jordan figure to make it look like there are people in the house. They even have, you know, little Nero's pizza box in the kitchen with, on the TV is the fake black and white movie, you know, and Home Alone and Home Alone 2 were such a, you know, huge part of my formative years growing up. And so getting to build it just really brought back that sort of nostalgia and I don't know, just pure joy. And I felt that same joy when I did the Nintendo question mark box, which is all the lands from Super Mario 64, which is one of the best games on Nintendo 64, and so it's really fun to have like all the little, you know, the lands where you're like, you save the penguins, you know, little baby penguin, you know, that sort of thing.
It's insane to me that as much stuff as there is in that set, that it can all fold into that cube.
Yes, and like, there are Easter eggs inside.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's literally like it's a question mark block. It's a Super Mario Brothers question mark block, but like almost like dioramas. Like you open it up and like dioramas unfold out of it that make up the different worlds in the game. It's so detailed. I don't even know.
So cool.
I don't even know where they would get the idea to do something like this. Like, this feels like one of those ideas. Honestly, this feels like an idea that, like, the Lego designer is sitting at home smoking weed. He's like, what if I could package all of Super Mario into a single box, man?
And he
And
knew
then he
his
got to work on it.
audience. He knew his audience because it was all people who are basically the millennials or Gen
Yeah.
X, sort of.
Yeah, Lego loves marketing to us specifically with so many of
Yes.
their products.
And I think we talked about this in our original record. But when we were young,
lost tapes.
yeah, when we were young, we didn't have these really cool
No.
sets. If you wanted to build something that was like, build Captain America shield, you had to do that on your own. Now they are selling the kit to build the shield.
There's no way on earth that any kid ever built a life-size Captain America shield. I refuse to believe it, because, like, yes, when you were done, we had stuff that is more along the lines of like what we now know as the Lego City
Yes.
selection, or the Lego Space selection. There was no branded IP when we were kids. There were no Marvel Legos, or there were no Star Wars, DC Comics. There were no there's Avatar Legos, for crying out loud. What child on this earth wants Avatar Legos? I digress. We didn't have any of that. So, like, when I was a kid, my favorite Lego set was like Hot Rod Mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was called. And it was just like a little gas station set that came with two. You build them yourself, 2 hot rod cars, and then you'd make them race, and they were cool. But that's what Legos was. And all of a sudden, it's that or Hogwarts Castle, and the Hogwarts Castle weighs roughly 7,000 pounds because it's so many freaking bricks.
Yes, that is one I had to be really careful with, because after I built it, I had set it up in my office, and my office also doubles as the twins, our twin nieces. Whenever they come to sleep over, they stay in my office, and I would notice, I'm like, the castle looks a little weird. And it's because, of course, they want to play with Legos. And so,
I mean, to be fair, you're like, dear children, please come stay in my office, also known as the toy store.
Yeah,
but
basically.
Don't touch
anything.
Behind you right now, I can see Stormbreaker, Captain America's shield. I can see a little Mario Kart. I see a PlayStation 5. This is a dream room for a child.
Nintendo, the Nintendo Lego, which was a really fun one, where you sort of have to build like an old school TV, and then you can wind it and have Mario running along the game, the side scroller, which was really fun.
It's very impressive to look at. Holy cow. Watching that thing in motion. And like, that's the thing. Those aren't made for children.
No, those are
made for us.
And they're 18 plus. Like some of these sets are actually 18 plus, because they're more difficult to build. And that's something that I've really noticed the more Lego sets that I've built is that some of, as we've gone along, they've gotten better. Because let's say the Nintendo one, which I built towards the beginning of the pandemic, the Nintendo one at times felt really repetitive. And it was like you were doing things over and over and over again. And that can get really, like, for me, for my ADHD brain, I don't want to do something over and over again. I will get bored. And what I've noticed in more recent builds is that whoever is designing, the sort of step book on how to build the set, even if you're going to do something twice, they find a new way in the second time around. So that way you're not doing stuff over and over again. They're like cognizant of their audience, of who, their buyers, and want to make it interesting and change things up and challenge you, which is really great. And I don't, maybe that's not the case in the younger sets, but I have noticed that in the 18 plus set is that they really are trying to make sure everything is new, make sure everything is challenging and different, so you don't get bored.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know that I'm cool enough for an 18 plus set at this point, because they seem very, very intense. Although I guess the cantina that's currently downstairs at my house is an 18 plus set.
That's gotta be an 18 plus set.
Wait, is the Friends sitcom set an 18 plus set?
I would probably guess yes. Whoops,
Okay,
my
because we
mic fell.
built that one.
Okay, so Mos Eisley Cantina is definitely an 18 plus.
Yeah.
And then as far as a Friends, did you do the coffee shop or the apartment?
Apartment. It was the apartment set.
Okay, the apartment set is an 18 plus.
Okay, cool. Well then, yeah, we nailed it. I'm
Yeah,
an adult. What's up? What's up, world?
you're so proud of
Um,
yourself.
what are you working? Do you have one going right now?
Yes, I've been working on the Batcave shadow box.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about this thing.
Yes,
Please.
it is insanely huge. And I think when I initially bought it, I knew it was going to be big, but I guess I could never fathom just how big it is, because at one point when you're building, the shadow box has to open all the way and it spread
Yeah.
across our whole dining room table. And I looked at my wife and I was like, sorry.
I will say there's a on display at the Lego store at our mall is a fully built one. I started talking to the employees at the the employees at the Lego store and find out that like they're the ones building all these models. Like
Yeah.
their work day for a few days will be like, well, I got to build the Bat Shadow box.
Yep.
And
I see it.
Work. That's work. It's nuts. But so I saw it there on display and oh my God, it's so big.
It really is.
Where is that going to live at your house?
I think it's going to end up coming into my office on one of the shelves, I believe. I have floating shelves in my office. But Leslie sort of set a new rule with the Batcave shadow box because it is so many bags. I think like 30 plus bags, I want to say.
Do you have a bag limit now?
No, it's not a bag limit. It's that if we go a week without finishing a bag, I have to put everything away. And so I have it. Well, no, with the shot, like I'm so, yes, I'm on strike, but I'm also busy and I'm getting out and doing stuff. And so a couple of days will go by where I'm not building the shadow box. But if I go a whole week, then Leslie will make me put it away. And so I'm very cognizant of making sure that we're building bags throughout. But it is taking us a couple of weeks. It is one. I got the shadow box right around the time that the show got canceled. And so there was a little bit of bittersweet sadness in building it.
Yeah. I like you're consoling yourself with more DC.
Right. Walking into my office and seeing my Batman statue or whatever, it's all in my face and it's all a reminder. But you know what? Now I look at it as a reminder of something really beautiful that I helped create and got a show on the air, which is huge. And so I'm super proud of that. But it did take me a couple of weeks to really be able to like sort of face that reality. And so the shadow box is we're only probably on bag 8, I want to say.
Of 30?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a lot.
It's already that big.
Yes, it is big.
Wow.
Some of the other big builds I have, Hogwarts Castle, like I said. I also have the Jurassic Park gates and the T-Rex.
That's right.
That one is that was really fun. My wife has put my Death Star on a Lazy Susan so I can spin it, which is
that's so cute.
So adorable. I have the Disney Castle, also have the mini.
You have the big boy Disney Castle. You have the Disney Castle. That thing is huge. And did you see they released a new one for the Disney 100?
And the new one has like cool fireworks and stuff. And I feel like they have different minifigures. I think it's more princess and prince geared in the new one, which is great. That's awesome. But I already have, that castle, so I'm probably not going to get it again.
The castle you have is the Disney World castle, correct? Is that the castle that they've released?
I don't know, to be honest. I thought it was the regular Disneyland castle, but I could be wrong.
It could be. I honestly don't know.
I feel like I should know this considering
I was gonna say, if it was the Disney World castle, and then at some point they released the Disneyland castle, what
you're
would you
just
do?
you're just giving me excuses to be able to buy more Legos. But what would
I
I
know,
do?
I
I
know.
I'm partial to Disneyland Castle,
Yeah, it's
having grown
home.
up there and also proposed to my wife,
That's
at
right.
Disneyland and
For those who don't know, Natalie grew up inside the gates of Disneyland.
yes, that is factual. No, not at
That's
all.
not true
It's
at all.
not factual. But I have gotten to do some really cool things. Speaking of cool things
Oh
getting
yeah,
to do for our job, I got to go to inside Walt Disney's apartment. I got to go in the Dream Suite, which is now Royal
that's a fun tour.
21.
Yeah.
So there is,
Yes, but
you know.
I can top that. I went to Disneyland with Zach Braff.
Sure.
I did.
What a random fact.
For some show he was on.
Yeah.
Alex Incorporated, the podcasting show he did.
Yeah.
He did
Plus
he did yeah.
I've never been to Disney World. Oh, it is. The one I have is the Disney World Castle. I have never been to Disney World, and I'm still waiting for my best friend Chris to take me there.
That's right. We're gonna go. And to Universal Studios. Have you ever ridden? Because you've ridden as an LA native. You
Mhm.
rode ET as a child, right?
Oh yes, best ride. That and Back to the Future were the two best rides at Universal.
ET Back to the Future's gone. ET is alive and well at Universal Orlando, and it's still delightful.
I need to go to there. I miss it.
I know. They at the end in the gift shop, they have ET photo ops where you can take a picture with ET in the closet under all the clothes, or you can sit on a bike with ET in the basket in front of like a green screen.
Why does he always look like he's in the middle of a rap battle when you reach the end and he says your name? He always looked like he was in a rap battle. That was my favorite
That's
part.
because he's rapping your names. He's rapping that whole like thank you, Eric and Tina, Natalie and Chris, Natalie again. Like I love these. One time I went through on the ET ride and I was the only person in my
Sure.
set of bikes. So at the end, he was just like, "Thank you, Chris."
That was the
like,
best time
you're
ever,
welcome.
I'm sure.
I recorded it on video.
Yes, you did.
And I haven't listened to it in a while, but it was always a real fun listen.
But I do, I say, oh, I won't let the twins play with, Hogwarts Castle. So I put it up on a tall shelf. But I have left Diagon Alley in a lower shelf where they can play with it. And I don't mind because they can't really get to the back of it. So they're just playing with the front. Then I know they're not going to mess everything up. But I did see Poe Dameron in his Christmas sweater hanging out at Gringotts or, somewhere in Diagon Alley at one point, which I thought was quite cute because they don't know any better. Yeah. Now, have you heard,
built Legos with them?
I have built Legos with them. They tend to be the smaller, younger ones. They're only 6. They're going to be 7 soon. And so they can get quickly frustrated, which I really understand. I too can get quickly frustrated. Chris, you've seen it.
Not you. I know when you built Red 5, the Red 5 helmet.
Red 5 helmet. The helmets are they're great. I've got Vader. I've got Leia's Bosch disguise, Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Stormtrooper. I have a ton of those. But
do you have a Batman cowl?
I do have a Batman cowl. I also have the Adam West cowl, which I haven't built yet.
Ooh,
yeah, so that one's great.
Cool.
But the way that they are set up, these little sort of helmets are on a very small pedestal that is not very well balanced. And if you try to like push things down to make sure they're secure, you can easily kind of break things and things will fall apart. And so I got my most frustrated while building the Red 5 helmet from Star Wars because I messed it up so many times and I was just like, oh my gosh, Lego shouldn't be this hard because I don't think it's an 18 plus. And so it was it was definitely
I'm
one
just
where I was,
picturing a little kid next to you just putting another one together. He's like, "What are you complaining
well,
about?"
why are you upset? Well, because that little kid had smaller fingers than me and
That's
probably could
true.
do it better.
That's true.
And so yes, I definitely got frustrated with that one and was very glad to be done with it. Oh, hey, guess what? It is 18 plus. I don't feel so bad about myself anymore.
Oh, nice. So if the little kid was doing it, he was breaking the rules. You little punk, little snot-nosed brat breaking the rules all over the place. Not cool.
Sure, sure. But yeah, I don't know. I just love creating. I've
Mhm.
always loved storytelling and creating, which obviously this is why I've gone into this line of business. But I think building Legos is that same thing. You're creating a story. You're creating this figure,
Yeah.
and I just because I am almost 38 years old does not mean I've lost my imagination. So I
No.
still have fun with these things, you know?
That brings me so much joy. I love that. Are there any that exist that are like either harder to get a hold of, out of print, or like is there like a grail Lego set that is out there that you just haven't been able to have the chance to get your hands on yet?
100%.
Ooh.
The one Lego that I've never been able to get is the Shield Helicarrier. So they did a mini version.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did a mini version later. Once the popularity of the MCU really took off. And so there is like a smaller Shield Helicarrier, but there's an OG one. It's a retired product, so they don't make it anymore. It was about 3,000 pieces. And it was just so epic. It's the coolest thing. And my friend Noel actually has one and he built
Oh,
it
of
and it is
course.
really awesome. But now if you try to get this, it's going to be like a couple $1,000s because it's a retired product. So, and it's huge. There's nowhere I can put this.
Oh my God. This is so, you just sent me a link to it. This is so freaking big.
Yes, it's amazing. And
Jeez. Oh, I love it.
it has a Maria Hill minifigure, which
It does.
R.I.P. Maria Hill, spoiler alert, but I this is the one that got away, I would say.
What's interesting, what I like about this, it's not the actual helicarrier isn't to scale with traditional minifigs,
Mhm.
because if it would be, it would be like 30 feet long and 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it has little minifigs, but of various characters and shield people. Like, that's so cool. But then in addition to that, let me go back to the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. So I'm looking at it, and it has who all do you get here? You get Hawkeye,
Hawkeye,
you get Cap, you get Black Widow, you
Nick
get
Fury,
Nick
and
Fury,
Maria.
and Maria Hill.
Maria Hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And they get this very cute little like shield background display that they stand on.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's so good. I love that. Holy
And it
cow.
has mini quingents and also the
Yeah.
actual turbines can move. You can like spin them and stuff. And so it was just a really cool one that was completely out of my price range when it first came out, and now it's
Yeah.
definitely out of my price range. And I will
What
forever
what
covet it.
is this a thing? Is this a thing where it's like you get another show on the air, it gets renewed for season 3, and you treat yourself with the outrageous helicarrier Lego set? Now,
Probably
I said
not.
season 3, not season 2, season 3.
Wow. I mean, that's you're thinking really positively, and I really love you for that. But I think my wife would be happier if I answered saying that first we need to buy a house.
No, no, yeah, this is I'm talking like, if you guys you've moved into your house, you're happy, everything is good. You just so happen that you guys picked a house where you have extra display space in your working
Ooh.
area that would accommodate something like that.
Okay. Okay. Maybe.
Then,
Maybe. I don't
then,
know.
like,
Maybe.
honest to God, if we had the space and I could figure out a way to make it work, I would get Nikki the gigantic $800 Millennium Falcon.
Right.
I don't know where a person will put that though.
Yeah, in that table that I sent you last time we recorded.
Oh,
there was
that's
a cool
right. Yes.
tea table where the top part is just glass. And so somebody stored their Millennium Falcon in there. So it is always on display, which is the smartest idea. I love it.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. If you still have that link, send it to me.
I will look for
about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll wrap up here in a few, but first I want to talk dreams. Is there anything, not in a weird way.
I didn't go there.
Do you have No, I'm just listen, I know the kind of riffraff that listen to a show like this.
Sure.
They went to a weird place. Do you have any like dream properties you want to see made into Legos? Because immediately I know what mine is, and I doubt it'll ever happen. And it makes me sad because it's Ninja Turtles.
Well,
and they're a Mega Bloks brand.
Yeah, that's rough. I think
yeah, it is.
The thing that I would love to see, which just feels sort of selfish and self-serving, is the Belfry. The Gotham Knights Belfry, because it's just so cool and epic, and I love being in the Belfry.
Do you specifically want the Belfry from your own show?
I mean, I would be happy even if it was the Belfry from the comics or the Belfry from the Gotham Knights video game. You know, just the Belfry in general is awesome.
So there are Lego. What if there were people out there that could make up custom Lego sets where they could print out the instructions and give you the pieces? And you just be like, I want a Lego set of this, and then they made it on all the instructions and pieces and sent that to you. Is that something you would do? I don't know if this is a thing. If it's not, Lego brick master type folk out there, this is a thing. This should be a thing.
They do have stuff like that. I feel like our friend, another mutual friend we have, Danielle Terciano, did a custom Lego of her old dog. And so she, ordered away from it, and got, they sent her the instructions of the pieces and all of that. I would love to do that for Hurley. That would be really cool. Yeah. So,
and then make Hurley stand next to it.
Yes, we did that. We
stare at it. Like Hurley would freak out.
At TCA, they once had a balloon artist who made just like random balloons for people. And so they made a balloon of our dog, and Hurley did not appreciate that balloon. She wanted to attack it.
Well, Hurley was right. Balloon animals are weird. I'm team Hurley on this one. I don't like them, but I also don't like the squeaky sounds when they're twisting them and stuff. Like,
yeah. What would your dream Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set be?
Ooh. So there are different ways I can attack this question. First, which version of the Ninja Turtles do I want to deal with? I think potential success wise, the easy go-to is the original cartoon series, and like doing like the Turtle Van or the Technodrome or something like that. Me personally, that would be amazing, and I would probably have to get it just to prove that I'm a real true fan. But I think my dream would be a Lego set of the Ninja Turtles, like from Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, their subway station lair.
Yes.
Just that big abandoned New York subway station with the train cars in the back that are the bedrooms. And like, then you get the 4 turtles, you get Kino, you get April, and you get Professor Jordan Perry, the scientist they pseudo kidnapped from the Foot Clan. Oh man. But I would also look, if Lego's coming to me and they're like, design a 5-set Secret of the Ooze collection. It's the sewer place. It's the nightclub with Vanilla Ice performing ninja rap on stage. It's probably the Super Shredder dock scene at the very end of the movie. That's 3. Oh, the opening where they're in like a little mall. They're in a little indoor mall fighting guys, and that's where Kino shows up. And then lastly, I know exactly what the last one is. It's how there's like Lego almost statues that aren't meant that aren't necessarily like minifig recreations, but
Yeah.
like almost art. It's Splinter sitting on the roof of the building uncovering the original ooze canister,
Oh, that's
and it's
cool.
just
Do it as
that.
a diorama.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I love that. It's interesting because Lego is doing more of those interconnected sets now. I just found out
Yeah.
that all the smaller Hogwarts sets, you can piece them all together to make one giant castle.
Really?
Yeah. I was like,
Whoa.
what? That is aggressive.
Oh, that's intense. Also, Lego, I know there's not a market for this that isn't named Chris Hayner, but like, I never got Dick Tracy Legos as a child. I'm just gonna put that out there. I never got Dick Tracy Legos as a child. Again, I should note I'll take any Ninja Turtle Lego set, but if it's up to me, it's the subway station sewer lair from Secret of the Ooze.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite Lego set?
I don't. It's hard for me to pick a single set because I don't have a ton of sets. If I had to pick like one build that I did recently, I'm pulling it down. I've showed it to you before. It's my Fast and Furious car with my Dominic Toretto minifig waving out the window because the way the car is built, his arm can't go down.
Sure.
Cool stuff, Lego.
He's waving to his family.
That's right.
It's all about family.
Absolutely. I love that Disney is doing the mini collection because I love, in case people don't know, I love theme parks, and I don't have room for a gigantic Lego castle, but I had room for the mini haunted mansion and the mini castle, and the fact that Lego, and this is something I actually wanted to bring up when you were talking about the Home Alone castle, what Lego has done with buildings, where they turn the insides of the buildings from the back into almost diorama breakdowns of whatever it is you're doing. So you can, like, behind, if you look at the back of the Home Alone house, you're seeing the living room with Michael Jordan on the train. You're seeing the place where he ate dinner. You're seeing the various traps on the floor. You can take the little zip line out to the tree house. Then there's a tree house. The mini Disney castle and mini Disney haunted mansion are stuffed with so many little teeny tiny Easter eggs that like you can look through windows and look through doors and see things, or you can turn it around and see things. And the fact that like they managed to get that stuff into these mini builds, it's just fun.
But
And
Chris,
that's exactly my kind of speed.
You say look through windows and doors, but in the haunted mansion there are no windows or doors.
Yeah, so that's the one you have to. You can
Just
only look in.
kidding.
You can only look in through the back, and the haunted mansion has windows
Yeah.
and doors. There, I will say, I wish there was a teeny tiny stretching room on the mini haunted mansion.
I
don't know how
know.
that would work, but like also Lego. I've seen some like newer Lego sets that are like almost like portraits. They look almost like wall art. Lego stretching room portraits.
Oh my
Come
gosh,
on.
I would so build those. And then
Right?
in addition to the mini castle and the mini haunted mansion, both of which we have as well, I really want like Matterhorn, a mini Matterhorn.
Like Matterhorn Mountain?
Yes, exactly. And like a big thunder.
Okay, I'm glad you
something.
brought this up because I think in the original recording we did, I said I wanted like all Disney, like I want Pirates of the Caribbean and blah blah blah. There are some, like, I love Pirates of the Caribbean. If they made a Lego of Pirates of the Caribbean, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, it would be an old Victorian house. But you could do that's what it was. I would like to do like a diorama scene of like Red, the pirate auctioning off goods. I would love. And I think this is my Disney like Grail, my Disneyland Grail piece. I would love to build a miniature version of like the facade of
Space Mountain.
It's a Small World. No, It's a Small World.
Mm.
I love the facade of Small World. Say what you will about the ride. I enjoy the ride mostly because I put on headphones. I listen to heavy metal, so it seems like the kids are all singing Metallica at me. That's fun.
That's
But like
amazing.
but like the facade, the front of that building with all the like all the movement happening, if they could figure out a way to make that in a mini form, and like maybe there's like a little hand crank on the back that like moves the clock face back and forth. It's just, I love that Mary Blair art style, and I would love to see that sort of captured in Lego form.
It was really pretty on Pride Night. It was one big rainbow across the
Oh,
facade. It
I
was
will
really
say,
cool.
theme park tip for those of you who either live near Disney or are planning to go to Disney on either coast. Set your schedule around the Disney After Dark events.
Yeah.
They are the coolest. There's amazing music playing throughout the park. I went on 80s night and I was walking down Main Street listening to like Relax, don't do it when you want to, like that kind of stuff that like you don't normally associate with Disneyland, but like let's go. Plus everybody's in line for the merch and the rare photo ops, so the lines for the rides are tiny. I walked on to Peter Pan's Flight. That's at the very least a 45-minute wait, no matter when you're at Disney.
Yep.
And that's on both coasts. For some reason, Peter Pan's Flight remains insanely popular, but on Disney After Dark nights, all people want are the crazy food, the exclusive merch, and their photos with like Roger Rabbit or whatever. So that is my pitch for people going to Disney After Dark.
And all. You are completely correct. I had a blast there.
And they do lots of super dope like projection map imaging on the buildings and on the castle and on Small World, where it's like lights and like it's everything's a cool laser show. Everything feels like a cool laser show at Disneyland.
It was funny to go
this
on
ain't Yo Mama's Disney.
Yeah, it was funny to go on Pride Night because there's a thing you may not know about because you are a straight man. That's okay. But if you see if one lesbian sees another fellow lesbian out in the wild, there's just like a nod of, acknowledgement. You're like, hey, what's up? We're both gay out here.
Did you have a neck ache at the end of the night?
Oh my gosh. Like, can you just imagine? You're just constantly nodding, being like, hey, another gay. Yeah, we're all gay. We get it. Everybody just one big nod to everyone. Hi. Okay. But it was
they should have stopped
nice.
everything to do a park-wide group nod at like 10 p.m.
But it was
3,
nice.
3, 2, 1.
Even a random girl, as we were walking into the park, handed us stickers that said, "You are beautiful." I'm like, oh, everybody was just so kind. But there was a funny moment, I will say, that when we were shopping at Downtown Disney beforehand, we walked past this guy and he goes, "There's another one. It's gotta be a thing tonight or something." And we were laughing because he's saying there's another one, as in there's another gay. And I was like, oh,
clearly
buddy.
Clearly not a local Californian.
No, he didn't understand what was happening. It was very sweet. Yes.
But also, like surprise everybody, gay people are everywhere.
We are. We exist.
They're all over the place. Yeah.
Chris.
But you know what? At least he wasn't like, ugh, there's another one.
I know, yeah. Chris, last time you did a lightning round with me and you asked me.
I have nothing prepared.
I know. You asked me what my favorite Lego piece was. And so I went and officially looked up the name of the piece.
Oh, what's it called?
It is a 1x2 brick, 2 studs, 1 side. Which also could be my porn name.
1x2 brick, 2 studs, and what was the last
1
part?
side. So there are 2 studs.
So it doesn't have it on either. So it's just the regular 1x2 chonker boy, not the flatty.
Not the flatty. So it has 2 dots on the top and then 2 dots on the side.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Very
good.
Mine remains the 2x4 chonker boy, like preferably in, I'm gonna say maybe just yellow. I like a yellow.
Okay. Yellow is not the first color I go for.
It depends on what I'm making, obviously, but yellow came to mind. I think I imagined like a racing stripe on a spaceship.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
Which,
Sometimes when you
yeah,
get a yellow piece and you know your set is not at all yellow, you're like, "Oh, this is just gonna be like a hidden piece,"
yeah, this is
essentially.
the inside.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Um,
definitely some yellow on my very black Fast and Furious car. There's definitely yellow in there
there
because I remember
was
thinking like, what?
there was definitely a mask, a helmet one where I was missing a piece. And it was the first time I've ever missed a piece from a set. And so I
Hmm.
went to the Lego store to see if they had the set, or see if they had the piece. They did not. But one of the Lego workers was like, "Oh, if you do these two pieces together, that creates the piece." He's like, "It's on the inside of the mask anyways, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "So you'll never see it. Here, take these two pieces." I was like, "Great, how much?" And he's like, "No, no, no, just take them."
I was
Which
about
was
to
really
ask you
nice.
how much he made you pay for them.
No, I just
I'm glad.
walked out with them. I felt like a thief. But that was nice. And it's something once you see it, you're like, "Oh yeah, 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 just put these two pieces together and it'll totally work." And then it
Yeah.
ended up helping me when I was short a piece on another set. And again, I have built so many sets, and so to be short only on 2 sets ever is really lucky. But on another set, I was like, "Oh, this won't work, but I know I can use this other piece." And I have a ton of
Yeah.
extra Lego pieces because when you build a set, there are always extra pieces. And so I have a big just drawer full of extra pieces and was able to sort of use my new brick mastery to figure out how to get it done.
I love it.
Well,
All right. Do you have any parting Lego thoughts? Any Lego hot takes you want to throw out? Anything else you have to say on the topic of
yes,
Legos?
I will say, I built a a Technic, a Lego Technic.
Technics?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I built one of those for the first time, and it was the Batmobile from the Batman. And there are a lot of pieces within that are, if you mess up any of these sort of, inserty kind of pieces, if you do it wrong, then it's like the car won't move or be
Mm-hmm.
able to turn its wheels. And so that doing a Technic is the thing that I think I struggled with most. There were just so many ones that were like a Technic pin with like long ridges and you have to like connect it, and it was just one that I found myself being finding it to be a little bit too technical. I know that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's called a Technic, but it just
Well,
wasn't fun to me.
I think the that like general Legos, general all ages Lego sets are like the high school of Legos.
Hmm.
Then you have the 18 plus, and that's the college of Legos. I feel like Technics is like the master degree Legos.
Yes.
Like they're very technical. It's lots of like sprockets working together with other sprockets and stuff like that. Like lots
Yes.
of crazy stuff like that. That's can be very hard to keep track
Yeah.
of. So yeah, I understand that. I never I you know what? I never really liked the Technics when I was a kid because like there was a kid on my street that had Lego Technics and it just wasn't my thing. Also, they look very like I could see why a Batmobile Technic would be cool, but like again, back in the day when there was no IP, I'm like, no, this is just a blue car
Right, right.
because they weren't even ripoffs of stuff.
And there are other types that are not Technics that are there's a Batmobile. I built the Batmobile tumbler, from the Nolan movies, and it's one of those ones where then I can control the tumbler from my phone because it has a special brick in there
Whoa.
that is automated, and then it connects to your phone. And I would much rather do something like that than a Technic, which is you can move it with your hand, move the vehicle, but it's not going to be like you can drive it really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, it's not a-
yeah, that's I just am not a fan of the Technics. That's okay.
that's your hottest take.
Yeah.
Hey, Lego fans, Technics suck.
I
That's
did
what we're
not say
saying
that.
here.
I did not
Those
say
were
that.
Natalie's exact words. Technics are a big old idiot.
Oy
Sorry,
vey.
Technics.
Wow. Wow. The hate mail I'm going to
No.
get.
As long as it's addressed to not me, that sounds fine.
Yeah, no, that is my hot take, is I'm not a fan of Technics.
I think that's allowed. Also, Mega Blocks, you're not Legos. Let it go.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there. Natalie, thank you so much. You
Of course.
are, as I said before, one of my favorite human beings anywhere. Not even just on Earth, anywhere. I don't
Aw.
care where we're at.
Take that, aliens.
I love you. And I'm just very happy we're friends. And I'm
I
very
love
happy
you
that you came
too.
to do this twice now.
Yes.
Hopefully people will hear this one. I don't remember what you said last time. Do you have anything you want people to know about? Do you want them to follow your social media? Do you have anything to promote? I know you can't promote certain things because of certain union activations or whatever you call them. But what can you talk about, or do you nothing?
I think what the question you asked me last time is, where can they find you?
Yes, where can they find you? Thank you.
And right now, you can find me.
Look, I recorded an episode by myself last week, so I'm all out of practice.
Listen, you're
It was
fine.
really good,
It's
though.
just me and you.
That's right.
Where they can find me right now is out on the picket line.
Yeah.
I strike most days at Disney in the mornings. And so you want to find me, come chat with me on the picket line. You want to chat about Legos, you want to talk about video games, you want to talk about TV, I'm there. I will be on the picket lines as much as possible, and as we fight to get a fair wage and fight to be able to make a living in this business. Other than that, you can
And not be replaced by a terrible computer.
Yeah, exactly. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. It's Natalie Abrams. And I'm also pretty boring on Twitter and Instagram. So if you follow me, don't
Natalie's
expect
very
much.
cool.
Calm down, sir.
Natalie is very cool. Natalie is evidently my only LA friend that isn't going to one of the 6 Taylor Swift concerts happening in LA.
It's not that I don't like Taylor. It's just I'm not a big enough Taylor fan to fork out so much money. I will say that Taylor really affected my Saturday night, though, as it was next to impossible to get an Uber because every Uber in LA was driving people to the concert, while my wife and I were going to see the Meg too. But we made it. It was not as good as Meg 1, but still a fun ride.
Is Jason Statham in it?
Yes.
Cool. That's all I need.
There you go.
What's funny is, as you're talking about not being a Taylor Swift devotee who would go to a concert, I'm currently sitting here refreshing my email, waiting to see if I got in on the pre-sale, which starts tomorrow, for the Era Tour's return to the United States, because they're coming to Florida. She's coming to Florida again. We went in Tampa. We want to go in Miami. And it's, Natalie, this, I feel stupid. This is me attempting to buy tickets to a concert that's in October 2024.
Oh my goodness. We had that happen. It's a year and a half away. We had that happen.
Oh, you had that happen for Elton, right?
Elton John, we bought tickets and we were like, oh wait, it's next November or whatever it was. And it was a whole year away, but that was at Dodger Stadium, and it was so worth it and delightful. So I wish you luck,
It feels like I'm being gaslit by the calendar, to be honest with you, but it's fine. It's fine. We will hopefully get tickets and be able to go, and I will wear a sequin blazer.
And in the meantime, you have something from this October to look forward to.
That's right. I will be reunited with the best. Me and Natalie, and Natalie's wife, Leslie, my partner, Nikki, we're going to Vegas to see U2.
It's happening.
And honestly, we'll probably have some other kind of fun while we're there.
Yes. Shenanigans. Yeah. Vegas shenanigans.
I have to take Nikki hiking is the one thing that I know that they've requested many times over. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
If you walk down the strip, that's a hike. Done.
That is no.
I'm kidding.
Not that kind of hike. I know what you
down.
mean. No. So yes, if you want, if you want to know where to find Natalie in October, we're gonna be in Vegas watching U2.
That is truth. That is truth.
Not for the full month, but
Chris,
I'll tell you when.
thank you so much
Yes.
for having me on the big. Oh God, let me take that back, like my wife would say. Chris, thank you so much for letting me come on to the Big Kid podcast.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
You did not nail that.
I ate a mint. I ate a mint.
We're a hot mess.
I'm not cutting any of this out.
Yep. Nope. This is us.
Sorry. I ate a mint because my breath felt weird. And then it stuck to like the top of my mouth and made everything hot and icy.
And on that note,
that's ain't like, look, there is not a better way to end this episode than me almost dying from a mint. So, Natalie, thank you. I love you. And you will be back for season 2. And we will be back for season 2. Honestly, it's probably not going to be very long. I just want to get the entire reason I'm taking this a break now is that so I can get some episodes banked ahead of time so that like when something happens, like I mess up a recording, I don't have to scramble and look, I was going to talk about Ninja Turtles no matter what, and I'm very glad I did. But like I recorded that 45 minutes before it was released.
You're amazing.
That's how close to the wire it was, but we got it done. And now we got an episode that is officially longer than the first time we did it.
Was it? I thought it was 124. We're real close. We're cutting it close here.
Yeah, but we talked a lot at the beginning of the last one.
Oh yeah.
So once I cut out all the stuff where we talked before we actually started doing the show, it was definitely less. And this one, we started recording and went to town. We nailed it. We're the kings. And thank you. And we'll see you in season 2. Because guess what? We've already been renewed. I'm not going to cancel myself.
Congratulations, Chris.
We did it. Come to the party. Bye.